The following broadcast is brought to you by Public House Media.
Resilient, overcomer, motivational. These words describe the speakers you will hear, as this podcast is filled with real stories of people on the journey with you. They have been through hardships, obstacles, or setbacks, and want to encourage you that you are not alone. Their motivational stories and life lessons remind us that beauty can show itself in the darkest times, and we can step out in boldness to let our story impact others. I'm your host, Liz Colburn, and today's guest has a motivational mantra to share with you.
I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason.
Today's motivational mantra is brought to us by Abigail Smith. She is 25 years old and she currently lives in Greendale, Wisconsin. She's a skills trainer for Project Search at the airport, where she has the wonderful opportunity to work with people with special needs. Abbie serves them in the way that she gets to help them develop skills and maintain employment after that experience. She also enjoys watching movies, working out, spending time with her family and her friends, and of course, her two dogs. She's a fur mama as well. But in her journey, she really talks about how she is going to have struggles throughout her life with anxiety and depression, and ultimately suffering with her husband's infidelity. How do you cope with this if something like this were to overtake you or burden you? She's about to share her experiences with us and motivate us to find the beauty in our journey.
One thing that shaped my life when I was younger was in high school, I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. The illnesses run in my family. Having these two mental illnesses, I think, has always made me have a deeper outlook on life. It's what helped me learn to love myself at a younger age. The most recent struggle I faced was this past January. I found out my husband had been cheating on me with multiple girls throughout our years of being together. We had been together a total of 8 years, married for 2 of those years. The day I found out that he was cheating on me through a mutual friend, I moved out. I hope that, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, to experience that pain and that betrayal of finding out, the person that you're in love with, that you love, did that. And then to deny it when I confronted him about it, it was just, I don't know how I got through it, to be honest.
She shares with us that her husband had denial of cheating. Okay, I need to pause right here and remind you that if you have been in a relationship like this, if you currently are in a relationship like this, that is not a man, and that is not love. Okay? The fact that he was approached by her regarding this and that he could not be truthful in this moment does not really leave a good taste in my mouth, and I hope it doesn't leave one in yours as well. This is a heart issue, you guys, and I am a firm believer in a lot of situations being able to be worked through, a lot of relationships that just need two people to come together for communication. But if you're denying things after you were caught, that is just not a good way to begin to take steps forward in a relationship. You also do not need to blame yourself, and I'm glad that Abbie talks about this in her journey, that she's not blaming herself. This is his heart heart issue, and she's going through these feelings of betrayal and feelings of just who is this person that I thought I've loved for the last 8 years? And she continues to tell us about the mantra that speaks to her throughout all these trials, and I love the advice that she's about to give us.
I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. Something that I do that is really helpful in finding phrases or things that just feel right is finding Pinterest quotes. It's just something I've always done. It definitely was and still is something that helps me today. I'm a very emotional person, so I feel and look deeply into everything. Sometimes I can't find the right words to depict what I want to say, so finding quotes is helpful. Honestly, what helped me to keep going was changing my attitude. Having the right mindset and telling yourself positive things is really important. Before I'd been cheated on, I was a lot more negative. And then being cheated on, it's just something clicked in my head that I had to tell myself that I could do this. I could get through anything. So that positivity honestly has helped me grow a lot. And I thought back, I didn't want people's sympathy or pity that when they would find out that I had been cheated on. And having faced my anxiety and depression, back in high school, that had definitely helped give me strength I didn't realize I even had.
Abbie has so much bravery. She talks about how she's dealing with this, how she can be anxiety-free, and now sharing her story just so boldly. This is gold, you guys. Lean in. Whether you're dealing with this, have dealt with this, or you're just needing encouragement with other aspects of your life, continue to listen how she's journeying through this, sharing this with us. I'm just so, so proud of her.
Looking at who I am now compared to who I was in January, I am a very different person. With pain, I believe we grow the most. As challenging as it was something I was meant to go through. I am even stronger than I was before. Since being cheated on, I feel like I am now really living my life. I'm a lot more spontaneous and carefree. I have just always been a planner, but now I try to focus on taking one day at a time and being open to trying and learning new things. I try not to have expectations and just let my life lead me where I'm meant to go. I am rethinking every aspect of my life and how I can follow my dreams and what I need to do in order to reach my dreams. The unknowns are really scary, but it's just part of my venture moving forward. Having decided to move forward means not looking back. So it means not being given information about my ex, blocking him on all social media, and taking the risk of falling for someone new. Falling in love is such a scary thing. And now having to, trust someone after you trusted someone with all that you had is really a difficult thing. But I look at it as, if I'm not willing to take that risk, then I'm holding myself back and I'm not moving forward. I try to push myself to do anything that scares me, because that's the only way that I am going to grow.
No one would wish any of this upon anybody, but I'm inspired to look at all the ways that she's changed throughout this obstacle and what she wants you to learn. To sum up what she's saying, we need to love ourselves. We need to focus on what brings us joy. We don't want to wait until it's after a moment, maybe a setback or an obstacle. We want to continue this journey throughout, figuring out what brings us that joy, making sure we're sinking into moments, making sure we're taking healthy risks. What brings us joy is important. What brings you joy is important. Yes, experiences shape us, but don't wait to explore things that you love Begin now. Abbie continues sharing her story, a story that inspires us all to take risks and focus on taking care of ourselves. It breaks my heart because I know that she's not the only woman going through this. I know she's not the only woman who's experienced this, let alone man too, okay? I know I'm speaking to women right here, but this happens to men too. That trust broken, that betrayal, the dishonesty in a marriage. And it breaks my heart to know that there's so many that are struggling with this. Let this be hope. Lean into this last part. She may be talking to you. And if she's not talking to you directly, maybe you have a friend that you know of that you need to share this with today. Okay, she's sharing this to not just share her story and let it be left as is. This isn't just woman's journey. She's speaking for all women or men that are struggling with this same issue. Okay, this is not an issue where I'm saying every single person listening to this, if you're having this happen, you should get divorced. Do not think that. There are a lot of relationships that can be worked through, that with love and with communication, that can be. But in Abbie's situation, this is what needed to happen for her to walk away and for her to better herself. Share this with somebody who needs this today. To look for these signs in their relationship, to seek help in counseling and love and support from friends and family. You are not alone. Here's what she has to say to end us off.
I would like to say that it isn't my intention to bash my ex. I am stating facts of what he did and the consequences that had to follow. The message I want you to take away from my story is that it's okay to think about yourself. At the end of the day, if you're not taking care of yourself, no one else is going to do that for you. It may have been one of the hardest and most painful moments of my life, having to leave my ex-husband, but it's what I needed to do for me. That first month and a half that we were separated, I had contemplated on going back to him, but I knew deep down that I would never trust him again. I mean, I thought he was my person, my soulmate, but it's like a light bulb went on in my head that my true love would never do something like that to me. Our relationship had turned toxic long ago, and I don't know if I was in denial or just making up excuses. I mean, honestly, it's probably a little bit of both. There are other details that I don't want to share, but it all contributed to I wasn't meant to be with someone who could do those things to me. That I wasn't meant to be with someone who was only sorry once he got caught. I pray that any woman that crosses paths with him sees him for who he really is. I hope that he can change. I told him he has to change for the next girl, and that he would regret what he did to me, that he would look for me in other women, and that he would never find me in them. Ladies, you don't need a man. You can say that you want a man, but do not say that you need him, or need one, because you do not. What you need to do is to love yourself and to learn to be independent. I've learned to go to many places by myself and for myself, like eating at restaurants by myself or going shopping by myself. I have now been divorced for about a month. I have been eating healthier and exercising more since being separated. That actually had been my New Year's resolution, and getting cheated on just kind of helped kickstart that too. I'm figuring out my career and just focusing on myself. I would like to add, I wouldn't be where I am today without my family and friends helping me out along the way. So please just believe in yourself, and you can honestly do anything. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Abbie, for explaining your story and your journey. Again, I think it takes a lot of bravery for someone to come on and talk about such a sensitive topic, but I know I'm not a person who is struggling through that same obstacle right now, but I can find encouragement in that. I can hear it in her voice, how she's so passionate about finding herself and exploring what brings her joy, and that alone encourages me to begin doing that today. Thank you so much for joining my guest, Abigail Smith, and I for today's episode of Motivational Mantras. This show is presented by Public House Media, where we all have a voice. You can follow the network on Facebook and Twitter. I'm so humbled that you tuned in to hear one of the many testimonies that will be shared on this podcast. I hope you are learning to find the beauty in your journey and continue tuning in so we can grow together each week. You can find both my podcasts each week, Monday mornings for the show The Morning Uplift and on Friday mornings for the Motivational Mantras. Please feel free to contact me at lizcolburnbb@gmail.com. I love to hear from my listeners. May God watch over you throughout your week, and may your light shine for all to see.
Sick kids. Unlike many kids' cold medicines, Hyland's for Kids Cold and Cough, made with natural active ingredients, is safe and effective for kids ages 2 and up. Available at Walmart. Claims based on traditional homeopathic practice, not accepted medical evidence, not FDA evaluated.